We have a really awesome content today. I cannot wait to share with you. So one sheet of paper and I've got 8 main points. And as we talk, there'll be more to add to it. So yeah. So introducing everyone to Christina. Christina, do you want to introduce yourself? Like what you do?
Hello, everybody. I have been listening to the recordings and everything, which has been great and very helpful. So I met you, Lynn. What do you think? It's about 12 months ago.
Yes. What about there? Yeah.
About there. And so education's my background, and I work with some tertiary students and some primary school students. And we've just published my 10th children's book, Zoe and Zotty. Wow. And I have 2 beautiful children. And I think that's it. And I have a busy, very busy life like everybody else. And on this journey, and it sounds like the community of people that I resonate with.
Beautiful.
That's really about it. The concept of the person that you're becoming, and then that, and how that influences and attracts other people, and how your life unfolds as well. Yeah, so I think it's just like a internal journey.
Absolutely. It's I said yesterday, today we will start the session with some shares. Yeah, because there's a good reason why. Yeah, it is to activate that brain, and we are learning, so we want to sort of get it working, get it working for us. So what you learn, what you love, and I changed the key takeaways to realize. I think it rolls off the tongue better, and it means the same thing in terms of an answer to your questions that you've been sort of thinking about. So what did you learn? Something new that, the information, usually it's information. And then what you love is relating to yourself on a positive note. And then what you realize is just something new that you created, through this, with this information that you've got. So you don't have to have all of them. Just one area is fine. And I say, if you have nothing to contribute, coming from the learning, which is just what I shared with you, would be enough. But there's a magic in sharing. There's a magic in sharing. So who would like to go first? Something you've learned is, just basically the information I've shared. And I know Christina was sharing it before already. So just go over that if you would.
Well, I'll go first.
Yes, thank you, Bin. You go first. Can everyone hear Bin okay?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, because Bin's speaking through my own speaker.
Yeah, so mine's probably realized. Well, the house, there's 3 rooms, the material and physical and capability.
Oh yeah, the tangible.
Yeah, the tangible one. So I'm making this like a sensor light. So you walk in the room, it's sensor light, just turn it on.
Ah.
Okay, so the other 4 rooms, you just have to find the switch. So the intangible.
Yeah.
So you have to find a switch for all those. So once you find it, you know the path, and you just go in with your eyes closed and go there and turn it on. So you have to find the path to get to the switch.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I think, if I'm not wrong, can I paraphrase? Can I just sort of tell you what I think, what you just said to I think what you're saying is, so these ones, because you see, it's easy to know the path, because
Yes.
Material wealth, you have your goals and capabilities you just build on. If you're a postman, if you're a postmaster, well, then you just get very good with your post work. And health, and of course that's like, you have it's quite easy to see. Yeah, whereas these ones, it's almost like you don't even know where the switches are, and so learning about them, you will know where the switches are. And then you're saying something about stepping in and the lights just turns
The material and the capability.
right. Okay, Yeah. So these are automatic.
Yeah.
You step into the house and they already turned on. You know what you want. You know how to get there. But these ones here, they are like, they've got switches. So you have to go and sort of fumble and find them. And I guess is that what you're saying in terms of that's the journey?
Yeah.
The journey is to know what they are so that you can switch them on.
Yeah.
I love that. Never thought about it like that. Thank you, Pin. Did everyone? Yeah. If you like it, you can do a star, you can do a love, you can do a, thumbs up for Bin, because, sometimes we share. We want to get some feedback. Thank you, Aileen. Yeah. It's like we want to get some feedback. Like, does people agree? If you don't agree, I think, speak up as well. Say, oh, I have a different look about it. This is how I see it. That way, it's sort of like encouraging, it encourages us to share.
On the concept of rather than solving problem, taking one problem out at a time, we turn the switch on, we put the lights into it, or we pour more clean water into a dirty glass.
Yeah.
We know that should be done, but how you do that is definitely something we want to know. And I know that I should be looking for the positive, the reinforcement and whatever, but then I still don't know how what I need to do, how I need to do to actually focusing on and staying on that, positive switch light.
Yeah, what a great, oh my God. Like, that is a huge realization when you're on this journey, Nancy. So I really appreciate your I guess, contemplation and your question about that. Yeah, because here's the thing. We say don't take out the problems and be positive. Yeah, that's why yesterday I mentioned be careful when she says take out the dirt, put in the good stuff. We don't know what the good stuff is. Exactly what you're saying. Yeah, like turn on the light. What light to turn on? Like how to do that. So that's this one. You cannot know if you don't know these. Are you with me? Your house is dark at the moment. And like Vin says, we've got to find the switches to turn these on. Until you turn these on, so we start with the light of wisdom. Until you turn these on, you will know what to do. Yeah. What I've given our community in terms of the three referencing systems, which Christina, you will get to know once we covered all the theories. We'll go straight into the three referencing systems, which they help us to manage ourselves. But they are not the light yet. They help a lot. Yeah. But they are not the lights. Are you with me? You will only know how to turn on the light when you know where the lights are. We don't even know where they are. So what we think is what is good is still in our old ways of thinking. Oh, what is positive? Oh, we praise them. How? When you're still thinking the old way, you see it as wrong. How can you see it as right when you haven't gone through? If you haven't gone through the referencing systems, we don't have a different way to reference life. Then we cannot see it as right, or we cannot see all the good when we all we see is the darkness. Are you with me? All you see is the darkness. You must learn how to see the light first to then know how to turn on the lights. Are you with me? Yeah, so I hope that answers your question, Nancy. And I think that's such an honest question in that, yeah, I know about, just focus on the good. We don't know what the good is because we keep seeing the dark. Yeah. So the goodness is the light here. And therefore you say, okay, I don't know about my inner state. I always shout and yell at him. Yeah. Then you want to ask, okay, how, which is today we talk about asking questions. How do I have the state so that I can be with my son, so that I can see the positives? And what is positive? Yeah. So we need to know more. We know that part, but we don't know the other part. So we still don't know. And it gets more frustrating because you're like, I'm supposed to know. We don't. Yeah, we don't yet. Yeah. Yeah. Does that sit, Nancy?
Yeah, I know that. And even if I know what it is I'm looking for, there's still this uncertainties around. If I'm keep looking at the light or what it is, on the other hand, I do have a standard. I do have an expectation for him to behave in a certain way. And
Mhm.
so, does that mean that I just ignored it when it's not met? Does that mean,
Mm.
what do I do with it? How do I deal with it? And if I deal with it, do I go back to this way? So there's a lot of that on that side. I mean,
Ah,
you can't just ignore everything and say, I'm just looking for the positive side, a good thing, right? When
yeah,
life goes on, there's standards, there's expectation, there's rules, and there's.
yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
I would say this, after the 21 days, you won't need to ask that question anymore. If you, the 21 days, it's funny. This is why I turn into, this is why I do these 21 days now instead of doing the coaching. Yeah. Is because from this, you answer your own questions. You will answer your own questions. And so, stick to the 21 days. If you can't come to them all, watch the videos because it will unfold and they are sequential. Like you need to know all of these theories because like Jasmine said yesterday, Jasmine, you want to share with everyone about that in terms of why we need to know these theories?
Yeah, I think for me, like this theories really helped me, like especially when it comes to like Will. I think we me and Lynn, we had our one-on-one, we talked about this about so I've been trying to remove Will's addiction to the, sorry, I can't say the word, I'll spell it out because he might hear it, DUMMY. So I've done multiple times and it just didn't work and I was just really unhappy. Then out of a sudden I just released all expectation and just went with another solution where I cut it. I cut the DUMMY and it was actually really horrible like the first week, but I don't know, I'm like I just stuck to it. Like previously I was really unhappy and I had the expectation I need to lose it, but then now it's like, if he wants it back he can have it back, but ideally not. It's still my way, but it's another way of doing it. So I think the theories like what we learned previously actually did help me go to that part, is go to that result. I mean, sorry, go to that solution that I wanted. Like it didn't improve. I didn't have to drop my standards. And I met my standards and I met what I want. Yes, it's difficult, but it's like if it happens, if he wants it back, that's fine. That doesn't really affect me. So I don't have that expectation like I need to have it gone by end of this month or something.
And Jasmine, have you given him anything else as like a replacement in terms of like a blanket or a special toy? Because they use it as like security and it's been with them for a very long time. It's a very major thing for them as well as for yourself. So that could also just be an idea that could help both of you.
Yeah, so I think he looked, because he always had like some, I think his security blanket, but he didn't use it. So lately he's been holding it. And I bought him like a dinosaur toy that I think he's always wanted it. So he was actually holding it to sleep. So
yes, yeah, that's great. That's really good. And if you hold it and put your love into it and security into that or whatever it is, he will feel it, and so will you. And then it's just like such a nicer, smoother, transforming from dummy to something else or something else. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's
I said the magic word.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing, Jasmine, is with this inner state here, that you were able to say, okay, not going into control, well, I don't have to have it now. You see that's why when Lisa turned up, it's not like we will have to compromise. Yeah, but we will be able to find a way to have what it is that we need to have so that we can create a dream life. We talk about turning on the light, meaning keeping these problems outside, not to turn on the light and ignore these because you still have them. It's not that way. And if we think that way, it is the old way of thinking. That means there is things there are ways of thinking in your mind that is still not working for you yet. So all you have to do is now is say, these 21 days is filling it up with new information. All of a sudden, as you go through it, and because it's not a journey of learning, like going to school and learn new knowledge. It's a transformational journey where we are, like I said, exporting and importing reality, that when you learn it, those new things, all of a sudden you'll see a different way of thinking, which means then you will be able to find what it is that you need to do. Yeah, instead of doing, thinking, and worrying, like thinking in terms of or seeing things the way you used to see. Yeah, going towards what you want, of course. So yeah, does anyone have anything else to share in terms of learn, love, and realize? You see how it's not all that easy because we're not used to thinking about what we've learned. That's what we have to practice. And within the 18 days, I think it will get easier. Yeah. All right. If there's nothing else, we will move on because it's 8:30 and I have 30 minutes to go on to the new contents. So today I'd like to introduce you to a new theory, another theory number 3. And I would say it's about the transformation, the journey to transform. So first of all, I've written it like this so that I can space them because there's so much in here. I would like to start with the word enlightenment in the middle, which you can write it like this. This is what you'll be drawing. So let's start with this enlightenment. So when we talk about enlightenment, it's like, wow, what a word. Yeah, it's not. It's just, when you realize, when you come to I get it. That moment where like someone's sharing with you, or when your kids are talking to you and you don't quite get it, or when we're sharing, you're listening, you're collecting information, and you're like, I don't get it. And then it's like all of a sudden, I get it. Yeah, that's called enlightenment. That's what I mean. Yeah, it's not the Zen. Yeah. So for as long as I've been on this journey, I haven't used this word with our community. I've used realization and aha moments. It's the same. This word is rather strong. Yeah. So I want everyone to know that it's not that. It's this, I get it. So that moment there before you say, I understand it, I get it means I understand it. That moment before is you feel, like sometimes you say it, enlighten me. Enlighten me means help me understand. Yeah. So it's that there, enlightenment. And so people say, experts say it doesn't depend. It doesn't, how long your life is, doesn't matter. How long you live your life or how long your life is, it doesn't matter. It matters how many times or what you have this enlightenment about that determine your life. What do you think about that? That's really strong to claim that, because we know we I'm just going to do this because it's so important. Yeah. That when we recognize something and we come to an understanding. So let's write, let's start from, and now let's start from here. Where does this enlightenment come from? Like this understanding, this realization, this aha moment come from? It comes from here, from your question that you ask over and over. Yeah, so first it starts from your questions. I'm going to write here question. You will write question with me. From these questions. So what questions you have? So I know with my experience with teaching, we always ask the kids, what questions? We always love it when kids when they ask questions, because we know if they ask questions, they're going to find the answers. It's like Nancy. Nancy comes with a question. That's a big question. Yeah. You're going to find your answer because you have a focus. Yeah. And so it starts with a question. So you can come to this realization. Yeah. And so once you have a question and you keep thinking about the question over and over, then we say it is the contemplation. Yeah. You contemplate on that question, or you mull over it, or you think about it, you wonder, whatever words you want to use. Here I'm using this word contemplation. Contemplate. You can see why I write it first. So I can write it this way. So this here is what you think about the question over and over, for you to get here. So if it comes from your questions, and of course from enlightenment, then you have your understanding. So let's write the understanding. Let's write those words. Just so for Nancy to have the question that she has today, I know that she's been thinking about it a lot. Yeah. Getting stuck and then realize, oh, I still don't know what to do. Getting stuck and still have more. So that's where that's so important. And of course, from the understanding, we can get to our transformation. And this, we call a transformation. It's not reverse, like it's for good. Yeah. It sits. Transformation. Okay, and so it goes like this: question to mull it, think about it over and over. Gets to our enlightenment. We come with like the light switches on. That's why I write it in yellow. Okay. And then from enlightenment, we get to understand. Once we understand, we can start to create the change. We start to create the change. And if change is what we're looking for, change is the result of our life, then we require change. Yeah. And change aware. We all know now our result comes from us, the change in us. Yeah. So then does anyone remember what else? Like, if this is so important and the enlightenment comes from our questions are, when we think about that question over and over and over, there's something that's missing. What do you think? If I have a question here and I'm like, I think about it over and over, like, why does, say, for example, Bin, how come Bin's always so angry? Making it up. Yeah. And do you think that my enlightenment would take me to a transformation that I need for a change in my life? Yeah, not really. Yeah. So then can you see here, what if enlightenment is what we need for transformation, then what is key? Enlightenment is just a process. Yeah. You think about it, then you search for information, and then you have that, yeah. So that's really important. But what is key to the transformation that we need? A transformation that we need so that we can have the things that we want. If it starts from our questions.
So it's a process that we search and then we take action, you know.
Yeah.
We find, we learn and take action. So it's a whole process of what we realize what you don't know.
Yeah.
Because at the moment we probably don't know what we don't know. So when we're contemplating, you probably know what you don't know. When you know what you don't know, then you go and learn what you don't know, and then you know what you know, and you know what you need to know.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, that's the process that's within the process. Yeah. But so with those 5 words here, we've got questions, contemplation, enlightenment, understanding, and transform. So those 2 we can leave, right? Because the moment we can have this aha, we will get to understanding and therefore the transformation. So we leave those. Here, we can see that there's something that we need to know about these. Would you agree? That not all questions are good questions. So how do we decide what's a good question and what's not a good question? You know, sometimes in class, we hear teachers say, oh, that's a good question. Or sometimes, you know, we say it, that's a great question. How do we decide what's a good question, what's not a good question? When all questions, you know, initially we would say, okay, have questions are great. But some questions aren't.
Would it be mind picture?
Yes. So, so let's start with some questions are not great. Would you agree with me? So say, yeah, that's why we have that's a good question. How come the others aren't as great, as good? That's because we have
question about how to. It's a positive question and it's a negative question.
Yeah, that's right. Some are positive. So how do we know that they are positive? Yeah. And some are negative. Yeah. How do we know that they're positive and that they're negative? What will give us a clue as to, okay, that's a good one. So a great question at this moment, maybe a great question. Why? It is because say Nancy asked a question before and I'm like, wow, what a great question. And my answer to that was, you do this 21 days and your answer's there. I don't want to answer. I don't, but I can't answer that for you because your answer is in the 21 days of these information here. So why is that a great question? Because it leads us to what we are learning. It helps Nancy to focus on the things that she needs to know. Yeah, because she has an outcome. So we know whether it's positive or not. We have to know our desired outcome. Okay. I didn't want to write it with this. I ended up writing it with that. Desired outcome. It depends on our desired outcome. Yeah. And the direction that it is going. So it's positive if it is going towards what you want. And it is negative when it is going away from what you want. Happened to everyone. I look up and everyone's disappeared on my screen. Okay. So what type of questions are yeah. So does anyone want to have a go? So like Nancy's question, I said that's a very positive question, even though she hasn't got the answer and it's like it pains her for not having the answer. But the question itself is positive. Why? Why is that a positive question?
Because they have to go and find out how to get there.
Yeah. And when you find the answer, will that help your situation?
Yeah.
Yes, that's important. When you find the answer, it has to help your situation. It's in the answers that you will get. So say, for example, why is Bin always angry? Is that a good question? Is that a positive question? Because when I find out, does it help my situation? because, so he's angry because I made him upset, because I did something that made him upset. It still doesn't take me to the answer that I need. What I want is for Ben to be happy when he sees me. How can I help Ben be happy when he sees me? That would be the outcome that I want. I don't want to know why he's angry. Why he's angry, there could be a gazillion reasons in life. Are you with me? The outcome has to be something that I want. It has to be for me. Then that becomes a good question. So when we're asking questions, sometimes we are so free when we're asking questions. Yeah. So we want to sort of pay attention to what we are asking. All right. So now let me just check what else I need to mention here before okay. So while I'm sorting my questions out, I want you to do this. I want you to do an activity, and I want you to do it really quickly. I want you to write down 5 questions without thinking that they're negative or positive. Shouldn't have said that one first. Yeah, I should have got you to do the questions first. Without thinking, because I want your mind to just naturally, what's in that internal belief, to ask questions. So 5 questions, write them down, like now. Just write them down, and then we're going to look at them and to see whether they are positive or negative. Yeah. So no thinking, don't need to make it perfect. Let your mind just go. 5 questions. Yep. If you are done, just give me something so I know, maybe in the chat. So I know that you are done. And then if you'd like to share, just type in S or come off mute. And then we can explore whether they are positive or negative, because the questions will lead you to your enlightenment. If it's enlightenment, it will lead you to that aha moment, to your realizations, and then it would drive you to your understanding, to wherever that is that you go. It is from the questions, that's the direction of your life. We want to know, is it going to the direction that I want to go? Because sometimes when we make it unconsciously, we might have just taken us down the opposite direction without understanding, without knowing, without wondering if the answer to that will take me to where I want to go. Sometimes it's to satisfy our ego. How do I minimize distraction and procrastination? Okay. What's another one? Has anyone got another one? Well, give me all 5. Let's see which ones are positive and which ones are not. It will come out off mute. Okay, Annie. It's like, ooh, it's turned sideways. All right, so let's have a look. How do I get to be consistent? How do I make sure I have enough sleep every night? Okay. Anything else? 2 other questions. Who else has questions that they want to share? Share, and we can talk about whether it's positive or negative. Yep. So I can see here, what would you say? This out of 3, I would say 1 is negative. Okay. Now there are 2 that are negative. Okay. Annie, how can I improve my relationship with my in-laws? Okay. All right. What does everyone think? I would love to hear from you. Okay, let's pick one first. Let's pick, we will definitely look at Annie's one. All right. Don't write anymore because let's look at number 3 of Nancy's. How do I make sure I have enough sleep every night? Is that a positive or negative? The outcome, the answer to that, will it help Nancy to have what she wants? Yeah, so who thinks it's positive? Yeah, there's something in this that isn't that she needs to work out. But in terms of the question itself, how can I get enough sleep every night? What does everyone think? How can I have enough sleep every night? Okay. I would say it's not positive. It's negative. Why? Because she's having this vision that it's not enough. It's already negative. Are you with me? She's seeing that she's not sleeping enough. Yeah. So if it's to do with sleep, then it would be, how can I get how can I get a good sleep? Yeah. How do I wake up feeling energized every morning? Because the sleeping is to get you to feel energized. Are you with me? But when you see that not enough, well, then you're already in the negative. All right, let's try the next one. How do I get to be consistent? How can I be consistent with my work? Okay, we can pass that one because it's, I want to go to Annie's one. How do I can you see the first one? How do I minimize distraction and procrastination? Is that a positive or negative? Yeah, distraction and procrastination, that's what you're focused on. You're not going to, it's not what you want. You don't want distraction, you don't want procrastination. So you have to think about, without procrastination, without distraction, you're talking about focus. How can I be focused? How can I focus on my work? You want to look at positive things that you want. Yeah, you don't want procrastination. Then you don't look at it. Just don't look at it. Yeah, so then now, how can I improve my relationship? It sounds positive, this one. How can I improve my relationship with my in-law? Yeah, it sounds positive, but what do you think? It's already like you don't have the relationship. What is it that you want in the relationship? Is it it's like you want to be close to them, or you want to connect with them, or what is it that you want? It's not improve your relationship. It's so vague, first of all, and it's like it's a lack. So having it. So let's try, everyone. Let's try and turn it into a positive. Improvement is not good. So your relationship with your in-law right now, nothing wrong. You want more. You want better. Yeah. So what is it that when you have the answer, it'll give you? How do I create joy when I'm with my in-laws? Then when you find the answer, you keep looking at, oh, because they like this, so they like that, so I'll cook this and I'll play with that. And when I'm with them, I'm having fun. We're having laugh, we're laughing together. You want to create that. Whereas improving with my in-law means you only see that you are not, you're seeing that it's not good, and you're going to focus on that not good, which is negative. Yeah, so that's why these questions here, they're going to help your enlightenment, and therefore that decides the person that you can't become. What else do I need here? Yeah, and so the enlightenment, I am aware of the time, we have 4 minutes. Enlightenment comes from so self-reflection. You know, that's really good if you can self-reflect and you're like, oh, that's not where I'm going. So self-reflection is really good. Or experiences. So from your experience or other people's experiences, but often it's painful. Yeah, you go through something and it's like, and you learn a lesson, it hurts. Or the other comes from learning. When you learn lessons, you learn from people who've been through, and then they share it with you. That is, I guess, it's easier and it's faster. And from yeah, so that's all I have there. What else have I got that I think I've covered everything. So it's not, in the end, it's not the length of your lifetime. It's how often do you have aha moments? And those aha moments, they are big. Yeah, they're like, oh, I get it. It's like now, has anyone got the aha moment in terms of positive and negative? It's like, I see the picture of what I get. And then I ask the question. The question leads me to a picture that I want. I don't want Bin to be angry. I want him to be happy. So how can I, so I want Bin to come home and smile at me every day. He comes home and smile at me. So then how do I have that first interaction with Bin that is a joyous one when he comes home? Then all I look for is, when he comes home, I'm going to do this. I'll make myself look pretty and I'm going to say a joke, or I'll bring in some food or whatever it is that's going to give me what I need, which is a smile on his face. Or I can use the forcing, yeah? But that's not the picture that you know what I mean? That if I focus on him being angry, how can I get him not being angry when he sees me? Then I'm focusing on him being angry, which now I'm like, can you not be like that when you see me? Can you see how it affects your energy? But you see the outcome and then you wonder how to get that. Your picture is a bright one. It makes you happy. And it's like, I'm just going to do that. Yeah. So that will decide your enlightenment, your aha moments. Thank you, Aileen. I see it resonates with you. Anyone else having these aha moments where it's about this positive, as in that there is knowing your desired outcome. Knowing your desired outcome will decide whether you are positive or negative. That's what I can't tell you. If I want Bin out of my face, yeah, I don't like him, want to get rid of Bin, for example, then that might be, be a positive one about him being angry, because now I'll just do the things I can do to get rid of him. Do you know what I mean? If that makes me happy. So be very clear of what your desired outcome is. Negative. It depends on what your outcome here. So be very clear of this and then ask the questions to take you there. All right, I'll let you sit on that. And tomorrow I can't wait to hear your learn love and realizations. This is good. Did anyone like that? Did you like that? Do you know that the theory? Yeah, thank you, Aileen. Yes, I loved it. I loved it when I came in, just the realization. Oh my goodness, all my questions. Sometimes I have very, very poor questions. Takes me to, especially with my kids, doesn't take me to where I want to go, and that is, for them to feel loved. But I ask questions like, how do I get them to go to school? Yeah, it's not, okay, going to school. Then I need to ask the different question. Yeah. So your question, yeah, okay. All right, everyone, come on mute. Talk to me. Tell me at least how you feel about it. Not, not the love light, but where are you? Where are you? Before I let you go. Oh, so sweet.
I just
think-
realized that. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, you go first. It's all right. You go first.
Yeah, I just realized the important how the question, the positive and the negative question, that's the key takeaway for me. because I need to ask the right question, even though I have the desired outcome. But if my question, what I was thinking about, it's, like you say, the word is improved. Like it seemed like it's a positive, but it's not. So
Some are negative.
yeah, it's something that I really have to really pay attention in. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. All right, thank you. All right, well, I'd love for you I'll leave you to think. I can see Bin's like, oh my goodness. Yeah. To sit on that. I'd love to hear from you tomorrow. All right, everyone, thank you for being here. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.